So bring it on. Hype, expectation, emotion. The game yet to kick off. The excitement already palpable. Just listen to that noise. This place is definitely up for it. Let's hope we get a contest worthy of the setting. So we're up and running.
The midfield three, Peter, I think are going to be key in this lineup because it's a very expansive system.
Yeah, it certainly looks a very front-footed approach.
It is, and with the front three, especially the wide men, running at and
It's a mighty effort! He will be livid with himself.
Well, it didn't quite come off this time, Peter, but that's a warning to the opposition. This team know how to counter and they'll be looking to do it every chance they get.
Not getting too much time on the ball here. That is good pressing. Jim, who do you reckon is pivotal?
Yeah, Robert Lewandowski. He's just about the perfect all-round striker. Not least because he can finish equally well with both feet, Peter. It's not all about his finishing, though. He's always...
Van Basten! Oh, fine stop from the keeper.
That's very, very good. You can't ask for much more than that.
And we have our very first corner. And now a sudden chance to counter. He's through here. Mbappe. He's having a go. Oh, crossbar. Alexander-Arnold. Hazard gets into a good position. Roberto Carlos. Now it's Villa, and it's Roberto Carlos. Anything, Jim, to pick out of these early exchanges?
Well, neither side has really grabbed the initiative, I would say. Both must have come in with a view of not making any early mistakes. So we're seeing some conservatism here.
That is ended up in no man's land. That's a good run down the left. Tries to pass it through. Now the cross. Tries to play it through. Goes for a shot! And that is wildly off target.
Sporting certainly looks sharp there. They're very well drilled in this art of counter-attacking.
Looking for the run. Azar is wide and looking to get onto this. Rijkaard. Nice interception. His positioning was spot on. But it is clear to see that he is not at all happy with that.
He made it look a bit predictable.
Well, nothing to report in terms of goals, but it's not for the want of trying.
Yeah, the tempo is strong and the game has flair and lots of potential for me.
And here's Yamal, picked out brilliantly. It's a searching pass, and he was quick to react. Messi engages and forces him off the ball.
That's alert and sharp and very well played.
And the pass is intercepted. Now he's got space here. Pass somewhat off target. That's been cut out, well played. Great vision. Great chance! Goal! was a given. It always was.
Yeah, it's mystifying that a player of his talent wasn't picked up sooner, and he picked them off instead.
So we have the first goal.
Listen, when it comes to goals, Peter, in this team, he's always the #1 contender, and he's done it again.
Kirkchu. And he's heaved it away. Yamal. And that has put paid to that. That's an imaginative pass.
Okay, being behind at the break isn't ideal, but there's plenty of time to reply.
Simons. Stojkovic. Oh no, that was never going to make it. And it's Rodri. Can he get on the end of it? Big chance! Oh, he's managed to get it all wrong.
That's good running. It makes life so much easier when you have people who are willing to go beyond the defence like that.
Azar! No, he didn't quite meet it right. We've got 5 minutes till half-time. That has not gone well. Xavi Simons. Oh, it's Van Basten.
Well, he certainly wasn't in the mood to take any risks.
Out of play for a throw.
That's well played. He knew he had to mop that up.
Now, can he find a finish? Van Basten finds himself offside. It's a pretty loose pass. Messi. Messi puts his foot on the gas. And that'll be the final action of the first half. Well, it's certainly simmered along nicely so far. Just the 1 goal in it, and it's all still very much up for grabs.
Well, obviously things are not good, Peter. It seems the team were just a bit too busy playing within themselves, too tentative. They have to improve and make it fast.
And if you're just back from your break, and he shoots! It's in! They have done it! They have their equaliser!
Well, you have to credit the desire there. These boys knew they were in a battle, and they did exactly what was needed to get back into it. That's going to make the boss just a little happy now.
He just absolutely speared that in.
And I think he's even surprised himself, Peter, in how well he caught that.
And that has added a whole new complexion to the game.
Well, this is to be expected, Peter, when you've got 2 strong teams of fairly equal standing. The outcome should all come down to finishing.
It's their second corner of the game. And now they can spring out of defence. That has been slung wide. Look at the space here. Can he finish? And yes, it's there! They've done it! It was coming! They have their reward! So smooth. A signature finish.
Well, you've always got to have players that are willing to make the runs. And when you keep plugging away, that will happen.
Substituição para o Sporting. Número 7.
Sporting making another change here.
Vão dar os seus lugares a
So we have a breakthrough. Now how will things develop from here? Shapes to
número
shoot!
23.
And that certainly packed a punch. Vicious ball here. Dink through. A slightly better ball would have led to a very different outcome there.
They should have done a lot better there. The final ball was very poor.
Nicely weighted ball. Oh, well played.
Substituição para o Sporting. Número 12. Sai e vai entrar para o seu lugar com o número 11.
They get a throw in.
Neymar.
And it's Simons. He's gone for goal! Rising over the bar.
If he sacrifices some power, he may control the elevation.
Guardiola.
Well, that's certainly more like it. They can't let the intensity drop now, Peter.
They're coming again and again.
Well, the question now is whether they can sustain it.
Good ball, good take. Crossed into the middle. Guti! Out to the left it goes. And he's there to make the challenge. Well, that's clear cut. It's a free kick. And he has shown him a yellow card.
Está a acontecer uma substituição.
And he's there to retrieve it. Hazard was alert to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. And he's intervened well there. Now it's Mbappe. Threads one in. He won't be happy with that one. Messi. Goes for goal! Terrific effort, just off target.
Well, I think he's surprised himself how he managed not to hit the target then. He seemed to believe it was going in.
Mbappe! Donnarumma claims comfortably. Almost 75 minutes on the clock now. Now it's Messi. Beckenbauer cuts it out. Alexander-Arnold gets across to intercept that. And the counter is on. Saka gets into some space. Easy enough for the goalkeeper.
I think the message here is quite clear, Peter. They want another one and will seemingly keep going until they get it.
That is a brilliant interception. Aims beyond the defence. Well played. That has snuffed out the danger. Alexander-Arnold. And that is as far as they're going to go. Looks a foul. Yep, referee's given it. And he is going into that little black book. Can he get it through? Out to the right. Palmer. Spread it left. Not the most accurate pass. And he has slightly undercooked that one.
Well, everything up to the final pass looked decent. They just couldn't pick out that killer ball. This usually is the time teams go into conservation mode.
Palmer puts a cross in. Rijkaard. Now it's Neymar. And that pass is somewhat less than ideal.
Well, I think the opposition saw that pass coming a mile off, and it wasn't the best decision.
5 minutes to add. Now, can they get him away? Oh no, what has happened here? Well, that pass isn't the best. He's on it, can he? And he's had a hit! Close, but time for no more. The whistle has gone. So the winners bullish and belligerent after a remarkable collective effort. Well, football is, of course, ultimately just a game, but for the next 2 hours, it might not feel like that. The stadium is full of noise and energy. This certainly matters. Well, the pre-match build-up has been fantastic. Now, the game itself. And that gets things running. Villarreal have opted to go 3-4-3 by the looks of it here, Jim.
Well, Peter, in opting for this system, there's a confidence that stems from the manager and flows through his players. This is a team with courage to get on the ball and look to entertain with an abundance of goals. Plan B is for someone else. This team will stick to their plan A, and if it's not working, they'll persist until they get it right.
Spread it left. Now it's Hazard. Now it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, shooting chance! And he's done it! There is the breakthrough! You give him an inch and he'll take a mile. Such immaculate precision.
The keeper deserves some sympathy there. He may not have seen that until too late.
I doubt very much that this was in the script. Valverde. Threads one in, and he plays one through. There's the shot! It's a goal! Not one, but two. It is a dream start. They forced the error and extracted the maximum punishment.
Well, Peter, they should just never have lost the ball from there, but you have to give credit and fairness to the front-footed pressing too. Made things quite uncomfortable for them.
Villarreal are now luxuriating in a 2-goal lead.
Well, their manager seems to have them always thinking about the next goal. When's the next goal coming? They're such an...
Oh, he's been caught on it here! Oh, what a climb! he's got that completely wrong.
Yeah, I think that miss is going to give him nightmares for a while.
Looking to play him in. Well, the idea was a good one. The execution of it, not quite so.
Well, the pass wasn't good enough, and he knows it.
Oh, what has happened here?
Well, I wouldn't quite advise they should resort to risk-taking at this stage. There's plenty of time left yet.
Valverde. Whatever he had in mind, that was not it. That has ended up in no man's land. And this is Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo! Shapes to shoot! And again! Now, who's going to be first to this? Oh, that was a brilliant save.
Yeah, I thought the keeper did well to retrieve that. They work all week on that sort of situation, and he reacted very well then.
He's being urged to shoot. And the shot! Well, that is remarkable.
I think that's just more proof that this team is very comfortable playing on the break. They're really swift.
Rodri. And it's Simons. Good chance here! And Azar. Kudus. Gavi. Now it's Messi. Plays a sharp little ball here. Messi. And here's Mbappe. Simons. Oh, what's he giving here? He's given a penalty. So a big chance now from 12 yards. Now, power or placement? Brilliant save from Donnarumma! No way through, so back it comes. And it's Rodri. Tries to pass it through. And once more, he proves rigid and robust. You have to say, that was an exemplary tackle. Stopped him dead in his tracks. And he's going to have his name taken.
I just think it was a cheap foul to give away.
He's looking wide. And he cuts out the supply. Now that's well seen too. Back into the middle. That's a shade optimistic. Oh, it's taken out. That'll be a foul. Messi kept aware, and it is reclaimed easily. And he's managed to get free. Big header! Yes! And they are pulling clear here. Oh, one moment you're in possession, the next you're picking the ball out of your own net. That one will sting.
Oh, that was beautifully done. They were ready to pounce, and they were clinical when the opportunity presented itself.
Villarreal find a position of real strength now. Aimed beyond the defence. Cross goes in there. Oh, smashing header! Goal! Devoid of any complexity, but boy, was that certain.
Oh, it's a fantastic assist as well, Peter. Delivered at pace, the diversion, that's all that was needed.
So is this the start of a comeback? Donnarumma. Van Dijk. And this is Azar. Lovely pass, but can he get there? Well, the ball just didn't work out for the run that he made.
Well, everything up.
Alexander-Arnold with the challenge, and he has given away a free kick. And just to confirm that the referee did issue a yellow card for that earlier incident. Oh, good spread. Kudus in acres of space out wide. Messi. And Messi! That was superb goalkeeping.
Messi actually didn't do an awful lot wrong, to be honest.
And this is Hazard. Tries to play it through.
Whatever happens, that's the kind of movement which raises hope.
There's the whistle for half-time. And that's the start of another 45 minutes.
Well, I think they have to be positive despite the scoreline. The one thing they don't want to do, Peter, is give away an early goal. But they can't afford to get too cagey either. So attack would...
He's having a go! Oh, that's neat. And it's Simons. He's tried one! And a terrific save from the keeper.
That's very, very good. You can't ask for much more than that.
Valverde. Messi. Nicely weighted ball. Nice interception. His positioning was spot on. Short changes him with that pass. Valverde. Now it's Messi. Not the most accurate pass. Now it's Mbappe. Engages and forces him off the ball.
Well, the way this game is offering less possession, they'll need to have a very good conversion rate.
Knocks it into space. That's been slipped through. They're urging him to shoot.
Is that the first time we've seen...
Well, that's surely a foul. Free kick. It's a straight red. He has been given his marching orders. Well, there may be some scope for debate over the seriousness of the offence, but none over its repercussions. They'll have to see out the rest of the game with 10 men. Christensen. And it's Valverde. Rodri does really well there. He is strong. Mbappe. Has ruffled a few feathers, but well dealt with. Saliba gets a foot in here. Well, it didn't look good for a while, but that was brave defending, and they got away with it.
Simply...
Can he finish? They've scored! A momentary lapse, mercilessly exploited. They were absolutely lethal.
The danger was always there, Peter. We all knew they'd be pouncing on any slip or any sort of indecision. They need to sharpen up or it's going to happen again.
It's starting to look like a done deal now. And the finish! It's fallen kindly here. And that is wildly off target.
He'll be annoyed with himself after that. Nothing wrong with his anticipation.
Tries a shot! Oh, he's been caught napping. Deftly out wide. Now it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Now that looks a decent ball. Oh, they could be caught out here. And here's Mbappe. Great ball, and he's in here. Well, the defence proved infallible then, but that won't be the last they'll see of him. Mbappe picks it up out wide. Well, that looks like a final warning. Still no card. This looks like a more than decent chance to strike. And he's in on goal. Shot! And for sure, that was not one of his best.
Well, that's a sign that he clearly feels the need to take it upon himself to try and get his side back into this.
Not the best distribution from the keeper. Now it's Mbappe. Played out towards the right wing. Oh, nicely intercepted.
They'll want to make the most of this turnover.
He has found the way through. Can he get it through? And a shot! Oh, brilliant save.
Se va a llevar a cabo un cambio de jugadores.
And we have our very first corner. That's going to go a long way. Nicely spread. Oh, now here's an interesting matchup. Cannavaro did well to emerge with the ball. That's a contest to keep an eye on. Valverde. Now, what about a counter-attack? And it's lofted through here. Oh, important interception.
Saka really has the confidence and skill to be able to hold the ball up like that until support arrives a little sooner, and just maybe there he overdid it slightly and should have released it because the support was arriving quickly.
Gavi. Mbappe. Now it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Messi.
They've got to make this nice and quick.
And a chance! Hazard. Cristiano Ronaldo. Christensen. Valverde. And it's Gavi. Now, can they get him away? Cannavaro demonstrating his defensive quality there.
If they want to counter, they could do with more speed.
Mbappe! Not the most convincing of passes. Hazard. Gavi. Now it's Mbappe. He's had a fair tumble under that challenge. Valverde. Added time going up here, it's 3 minutes. And that interception was most necessary. And time is up. A tale of two teams, one irresistible, unstoppable, the other fragile and seemingly clueless. Your reflections then, Jim?
One-sided and only one winner, Peter. The players didn't show enough togetherness and it was weak throughout.
And that's where we have to end it. From me, Peter Drury, and my co-commentator, Jim Beglin, a very good evening to you all. Oh, what a sight this is. The colour, the choreography, the camaraderie. The fans have pulled out all the stops to make this a monumental occasion. Well, the stage is set for a stirring showdown here. The supporters in great voice, and there's a real sense of anticipation in the air. Game on. There's the whistle. Hazard reaching 3 figures in terms of his appearances for the club.
Yeah, something that I mentioned to him in person before the match, Peter, although it took some time to register. Pretty much the same with...
Oh, they could be caught out here. Skims one. Goes for a shot! They've scored!
Listen, the big names earn their reputations for precisely the reason we've just seen. They have a habit of making their presence felt, and here we are, early stages. He struck one, and he looks hungry for more.
An act of charity, gratefully received.
I think the defence really need to wake up here, Peter. They really shouldn't be getting caught out like that.
So the game's first significant moment, and it's come earlier than perhaps we anticipated. Pinches it off him. There's some great running on show here, but ultimately there was no way through. And that interception was most necessary.
That's great positioning, so good from him.
Brilliant save from Donnarumma! Oh, terrific save from the keeper.
Really looked sharp there, didn't he? That's very well played.
And we have our very first corner. And now a sudden chance to counter. Well, that tackle was certainly sturdy. Messi. Oh, good read.
That was well played, well stopped.
Aims beyond the defence. Hakimi. And Jamal. Hakimi. Now it's Messi. Messi running with the ball. Hazard. Decent chance! Oh, it's come loose. And that was very necessary.
Well, he certainly wasn't in the mood to take any risks.
And that's been intercepted.
He read that really well and stopped it.
Bellingham, who's set up 1 goal so far.
Well, I wouldn't quite advise they should resort to risk-taking at this stage. There's plenty of time left yet.
Messi, a hefty challenge, but fair enough. Nothing wrong with that tackle. Ball won cleanly. That's ruffled a few feathers, but well dealt with. It's their second corner of the game. Bastoni with the clearance. And it's Rodri. Cleared without hesitation. And now they can spring out of defence. Oh, he's taken out. That'll be a foul. He knew what was coming. That's a yellow card. The pass has gone astray. And that's the end of that. It all started well enough. Oh, that's a key interception. Plays a sharp little ball here. Jamal receives it in a good position here. And he shoots! And that is doing no harm at all.
Well, that was highly impressive. He went through them like a knife through butter, so that's raised an alarm or two.
Xavi Simons. He's in a great position here. Simons! And it's hit the woodwork and out! Decent enough try. Getting on for a third of the way through the game. Messi. Mbappe. And he's made sure that's not getting through. A slightly better ball would have led to a very different outcome there.
Well, everything up to the final pass looked decent. They just couldn't pick out that killer ball.
And that is out of play. Possession football, Jim, we're seeing plenty of it. What is it, though, that really makes it work?
Well, for me, what makes it work is the fact that everyone in this team has the courage to show for the ball. You can't shy away from it. You can't hide. You have to front up in a setup like this, and everyone is doing just that.
You make it. Header comes in! Oh, it's fallen loose again! And it's in! And there we have it, the two-goal cushion. Some heroic goalkeeping, but even that couldn't save them this time.
Well, it still had to be finished off, so well done to the goal scorer, but the keeper should have done a lot better.
So that's two now without reply.
Well, with this kind of authority, Peter, why not push on and totally kill this off?
Oh, that's fabulous. And it's made its way to him. Now, can they get him away? Yamal. Now it's Hazard. That's been slipped through. Abiati gets his hands on it, and the danger is averted.
Well, it seems as if he's just had a momentary lapse and slipped into tunnel vision because he had good options around him and he failed to get his head up.
Van Dijk gets it away. Gently done. Well seen, saw that coming.
That's great positioning, so good from him.
Yamal. Yamal. Alexander-Arnold gets rid without sophistication. That has ended up in no man's land. And he was quick to react. Abiati. And the first half is done. How would you review the first half?
Well, I think things have worked out pretty well so far, Peter. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I think the manager has to resist change at this stage.
Sul maxi schermo saranno trasmessi gli orari dei treni speciali.
The action is back on the way.
I think it'll be fascinating to see how they're going to change their approach here. They have to go for it and try and pull one back, but they also have to be aware that going 3 down will probably seal their fate.
Looking for the run. Mbappe. Saliba. Xavi Simons. Oh, he's found support out wide. And he's there to clear it. De Bruyne. And that's been won straight back. Now, who's going to be first to this? Good ball, good take. He can get that clear. It's Alexander-Arnold. Now it's Mbappe. He might be in here. And he's there to get it away.
There's no doubt it's a long way back, but they can at least give us something to believe the gap might be closed.
Now this could be a chance. Shot at goal! It's there! Just gorgeous. The most glorious, delicious of touches. Followed up with an unerring finish.
Speed of thought, speed of action. That's another really clever finish.
We have got ourselves a game here.
What a difference a half-time rocket from the manager can make. This is exactly the response he'd be looking for.
He's had a shot! Really well taken goal. And he stuck it away as if laser guided.
Well, Peter, I think the keeper knew straight away he was never going to get to it.
So the lead now is 2.
The crowd are calling for this to be put to bed. There's little sympathy about.
Yamal. Oh no, that was never going to make it. Here's Rodri. And it's Azar. Azar going face to face with his great rival. And Messi! And he hits the net. Back to within 1. Interesting. Oh, beautifully dispatched. There was no reaching that.
Just way, way too good, Peter. The keeper was never going to stop it.
This is threatening to become a really good game.
Well, what a difference a goal makes. Now, all of a sudden, it seems the belief is back.
Well, it was a chance, but meat and drink for the keeper.
Look, his thinking was more audacious than his attempt.
Nice interception. His positioning was spot on. Nuno Mendes. That's going right the way across. Now it's Yamal. Oh, he's been caught napping. And he's cleared it out of harm's way. Alexander-Arnold. Now it's Simons. Pass somewhat off target. And it's Messi. Now that looks a decent ball.
That's just playing it safe and simple.
Closing in on the last quarter of an hour. Oh, now here's an interesting matchup. And he's picked it up out wide. And that interception was most necessary.
That was well played, well stopped.
So, third corner of the game. Bellingham attempts a clearance.
Well, there's plenty to like about.
He's having a hit! Should have equalised.
That was so poor, a very decent chance, and the disappointment is all too obvious.
It's a pretty loose pass. Well, that is not the best ball, and he offers an apologetic look.
Well, the pass wasn't good enough, and he knows it.
Saliba promptly onto that, and that is that. Oh, super find. Lewandowski has it in a wide position.
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
And that's a throw-in. Oh, good read.
He read that really well and stopped it.
He's found a way through. Thinks, shapes to shoot! Oh, surely that deserved better.
Mbappe has every reason to be disappointed after being played in so well. The gaffer won't let him forget that.
And now a sudden chance to counter. Floated through.
This usually is the time teams go into conservation mode.
Palmer. That's a cute ball. Saka providing an outlet on that flank. Alexander-Arnold. pings in across. Jorginho gets it away. They're back in possession and ready to go again. De Bruyne. Now, what about a counter-attack? Decent progress down the left. There will be 4 extra minutes. Lewandowski.
Look, there has to be more urgency here. The ball has to get to the other end much faster. You can never be short of runners into space, as long as the space left behind is filled. That's just playing it safe and simple.
De Bruyne. Oh, that's clever. Well read, nice interception. And that is as far as it goes. Well, this was a game they could so easily have won on another day, but alas, that wasn't to be, and they go down by the odd goal. How would you summarise what we've seen today then, Jim?
Listen, despite the loss, they have to take something from this. I think the coach will have seen things he needs to work on, so I'm sure they have a lot of sorting out to do before the next game, and they can get there.
My thanks to Jim alongside me, and as the fans make their way home, so must we. Good evening to you. Well, football is, of course, ultimately just a game, but for the next 2 hours, it might not feel like that. The stadium is full of noise and energy. This certainly matters. Just listen to that noise. This place is definitely up for it. Let's hope we get a contest worthy of the setting. And that gets things running.
Giuliano Belletti will undoubtedly have a very busy game here, Peter. He's good going in both directions and has a very impressive engine.
One of those who's become a cult hero for every club he's represented. Famously, of course, 3 years in Catalonia and 1 goal, the winner in a European final.
Yeah, well, who could forget that? But first and foremost, I see him as someone who always puts in an honest shift. He'll do everything his manager asks him to do and will rarely let you down.
Yamal has been shown a yellow card for that offence, just to confirm. Forlan. And it's Simons.
Well, it's a move of great promise, but will it really prove productive?
And the assistant referee rightly gives him offside. Alexander-Arnold. That has ended up in no man's land. Saliba gets over and intercepts. Simons. Now that's well seen too. Well, the run has been sold a little bit short there.
They should have done a lot better there. The final ball was very poor.
There's the shot! Oh, that was nice, but not quite the end product required.
Almost the perfect move. Almost. The finish just wasn't quite at the same level.
Yamal, ambitious ball here, and it's been played through. Yamal, look at this, Messi! It's got in, he's put through his own net!
Well, that's really unfortunate. He'll be kicking himself at the moment, and believe me, I know how that feels.
Well, who saw that coming? It has certainly made things interesting.
Listen, sometimes you need that little bit of luck in games like these.
Not the most accurate pass. Messi wins the duel this time. That's rather hopeful. Well, that pass isn't the best. Great ball if he can get there. No messing about, just bludgeoned away. Searching pass he's played there. Now it's Park Ji-sung. And Guti! Oh, split-second reaction.
That's very, very good. You can't ask for much more than that. That will annoy the manager. They're making themselves too predictable here.
Well played. That has snuffed out the danger. Pass is just off target. A slightly better ball would have led to a very different outcome there.
Well, I think the opposition saw that pass coming a mile off, and it wasn't the best decision.
Goes for a shot! And he hits the net. Again, in a trice, and they are soaring! That is a super smooth goal, beautiful manoeuvring of the ball, and splendid authority in the finish.
Well, I think he knew all he had to do was get it under control, and it was always going to end up in the back of the net thereafter.
So that's 2 now without reply.
Well, now's the time you could afford to be more daring, Peter. It may be tempting to sit on this, but I'd say go and grab a third.
And he was alert to it. Alexander-Arnold. Saliba. Oh, Red, nice interception. And it's Simons. That's a cute ball. Good ball, good take. And he's opted for the long pass. Schneider. Driving forward. He gets big. He will be livid with himself.
Well, it didn't quite come off this time, Peter, but that's a warning to the opposition. This team know how to counter, and they'll be looking to do it every chance they get.
Oh, it's a nice idea, but the execution was lacking. Oh, it's come loose. Looking for a runner. Pass somewhat off target. Simons. Great ball, and he's in here.
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
Nicked it back promptly. Plays a sharp little ball here. Oh, well played. He's having a shot! And now they can clear their lines. Threads one in. No, he's not getting past him there. And he has been fouled there. That has not gone well. Now he's got space here. Cannavaro spots it and intercepts. Rodri. So what can they make of this? And this is Hazard.
Has been indicated.
He's found a way through. Whistle's gone, that's foul. There could be trouble here. But for now, the referee is keeping his cards in his pocket. This looks like a more than decent chance to strike.
Well, distance doesn't dissuade him. He has the requisite power.
He's missed, but not by that far.
Well, he looks a little annoyed with himself, Peter, but he hit it well enough. Better look next time, maybe.
And they win it back again. Well, that looks a cracking ball. That's a shade optimistic. And there's the end of the first half.
Well, Peter, I think the score is a fair reflection of what we've witnessed so far, and that being good movement in both midfield and indeed up front. If those players, I think, can carry on where they left off after the break, they should impose themselves even more, and probably only one result coming here.
A half of massive entertainment and excitement. A two-goal margin, yes, but all things still possible. And hostilities have resumed at the start of the second half. Short changes him with that pass. It's a pretty loose pass. But that has not gone well. Oh, well played, well sorted out. Tries to pass it through, and he plays one through. Well, that had the makings of something quite promising, but it's fizzled out into nothing. The ball is loose, and the chase is on. Good read, needed to be. He's got away. And he's cleared it out of harm's way. Out for a throw. Oh, that's wonderful alertness. He's going for goal! Terrific effort, just off target.
Well, he does strike a very pure ball, doesn't he? It's great technique. Well, yet another interception and a show of anticipation to be commended.
That's a little off target. It's played through for him. And he walked. Yamal! It's in for the pieces. Euphoria, utopia, and they are cavorting. And they are tearing the opposition apart here. Simply, and that's it. Many thanks to Jim, and with that, it is a very good night to you. Well, what a scene we have here. There's a real expectant buzz in the stadium, and the players on the pitch are raring to go any minute now. Just listen to that noise. This place is definitely up for it. Let's hope we get a contest worthy of the setting. So off we go then.
You know, Peter, there's a player down there who I've always admired, Carlos Puyol. This game...
And he's let fly! And he was there to get a vital touch.
Messi really must be thinking what he has to do to score there.
Madrid have the chance to go the other way. Oh, easy pickings there. He's a sharp little ball here. He has found the way through. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cleared without complication. Now it's Mbappe. And he's made sure that's not getting through. That'll be a throw-in. Ah, that's a fine interception. Messi. Now it's Mbappe. No, that's been intercepted. Now, what about a counter-attack? Nice interception. His positioning was spot on. And it's Alexander-Arnold. Xavi Simons is onto this. I wonder what you've seen, Jim, over the early moments of the game.
Well, neither side has really grabbed the initiative, I would say. Both must have come in with a view of not making any early mistakes. So we're seeing some conservatism here.
Oh, this looks sharp.
Mbappe really was well marshalled there because he was denied the opportunity to turn.
Now it's Matheus Cunha. Modric. He's had it taken off him. Xavi Simons. No goals as yet. That was good pressing. Forced the error to put an end to it before things could get even more threatening. Oh, perfectly measured that. Oh, Red, nice interception. Nuno Mendes. Now it's Matheus Cunha. Picked out brilliantly. Can he finish? And it's a goal! The breakthrough strike. That really is quite fabulous. All his own doing.
Oh, that's wonderful to see. The run was explosive. The finish, exquisite.
So the first moment of real significance.
Yeah, but I think they all know too well that things are far from done here, and while there's never a good time to be caught out, you definitely don't want it to be now.
Modric in with the challenge. Saliba producing a good steal there, showing a good level of alertness. Yamal.
Well, I wouldn't quite advise they should resort to risk-taking at this stage. There's plenty of time left yet.
Now that looks a decent ball. Mbappe! That's a shade optimistic. It's an inviting-looking ball, that. Oh, that's well spotted. Well, it looked promising for a moment, but it came to nothing. Stood up well to him there. Flings in across. Oh, the touch is just too thick. Could really have done without that.
Well, I think that might well put him off watching tonight's highlights.
And claimed it back swiftly. That's a good ball out wide. Yamal has it in a wide position. And it's Alexander-Arnold. Ball is over the line. And again, they run up against stubborn defending. Tries to pass it through. Rudiger kept aware. and it is reclaimed easily. Modric.
Okay, being behind at the break isn't ideal, but there's plenty of time to reply.
And the shot! Oh, taken with style. 2 up and in charge, and things are looking pretty good for them now. The invitation was clear, and it was accepted with the utmost glee.
Well, so often it comes down to that quality on the final pass, and we've got it here, Peter. The defence might want to have a good look at themselves as to how they let it happen.
Madrid are now luxuriating in a 2-goal lead.
The turning of the screw comes to mind, Peter. They've got them where they want them.
Oh, that's a very decent ball now. Chance, surely! Yes! A quite incredible spell. They are flying. Lacking for neither time nor space, it could scarcely have been more straightforward.
Such a smart finish, and the setup was very good too, but defensively, they didn't cover themselves in glory here.
And with that, the hat-trick is complete.
Well, talk about being on top of your game. Everything seems to be coming off for him.
A case now of complete control.
And things are much healthier in their favour. Mind you, you would have thought that when the last one went in.
Has been indicated.
Now it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Mbappe! And he should have made it 4.
Oh, what a chance. He probably had more time than he realised.
And the half-time whistle goes. Well, who would have thought it? A huge chasm between the two teams already, and it might grow even wider in this second half. That gets things going for the second half.
Well, things just haven't quite clicked, Peter, have they? They're behind, and they deserve to be, but they've had a chance to regroup now, so we'll see how they come out at the start of the second half.
Yamal going face-to-face with his great rival. Madrid can breathe again, just.
Oh, that's brilliantly defended, though. It looked destined for a goal.
Could be danger here. Real chance! It's in! Complete awareness. He understood what was needed, and he executed it smoothly.
Yeah, it's mystifying that a player of his talent wasn't picked up sooner, and he picked them off instead.
So is this the start of a comeback? Alexander-Arnold has it out wide and in space. He rises! Harmlessly behind. Lovely pass. It's Cristiano Ronaldo! And yes, it's there! And the lead is extended still further. It was casual, it was careless, and it has proven costly.
Yeah, they were made to pay for not moving the ball smartly enough through a very strong pressing wave.
Madrid grab a 3-goal lead. It's just too easy. Well, that pass isn't the best. Saliba gets over and intercepts. Aims beyond the defence.
It's a decent chance to counter-attack.
Just eases him off the ball. Nicely weighted ball. Chance for a shot!
I think that's great defending. He just made sure he was in the right place to block it, and I bet you the keeper's very relieved.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Mbappe really has the confidence and skill to be able to hold the ball up like that until support arrives a little sooner, and just maybe there he overdid it slightly and should have released it because the support was arriving quickly.
He's found a way through.
Well, he certainly wasn't in the mood to take any risks.
Pinches it off him. Now it's Yamal. Now it's Simons. Mbappe. Yamal. Now it's Yamal. And a chance! He has done it! It could be a lifeline! 2 more needed! No space, no problem. You just cannot stop him.
Yeah, he won the jostle, and it was a very good finish, and I think he'll go away feeling pretty good about that one.
So, just a consolation, or is there a way back from here? And here's Mbappe, and that's a good ball. And the pass is intercepted. Oh, the defence just about came out on top, but they were certainly tested. Pass is just off target. Well, the ball just didn't work out for the run that he made.
They should have done a lot better there. The final ball was very poor.
Looking to play him in. Now it's Mbappe. And he's found a way past. He's Mbappe! Rodri. Oh, he's going to be disappointed with that. Cannavaro promptly onto that, and that is that. That's a little off target. Matheus Cunha. Ronaldo gets into some space. And he shoots!
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
Oh, good-looking ball. Could move up a gear here. Not the most accurate pass. And they're not going to make any further progress now. That is good alertness. Looking for the run. Cannavaro makes the interception. It's a pretty loose pass. Knocks it into space. That is a great pick out. And it's Alexander-Arnold. Can he get it through? Cristiano. There's the shot! He's done very well to get to that.
That's very, very good. You can't ask for much more than that.
Oh, delightful ball. And into the grateful arms of the keeper. And that's put paid to a promising move. Xavi Simons. That's a sharp pass. Referee looks at his watch and blows his whistle. In the end then, no joy. Not for the want of trying, not for the want of running. Simply they were beaten.